You thought intimacy would bring you closer. That if you let them in, if you opened your body and your heart, if you gave them access to the deepest, most vulnerable parts of you, it would build something unshakable between you. You believed it would make them see you, not just your face, not just your body, but you. And for a while, maybe it felt like it worked. The laughter, the soft breathing in the dark, the way they looked at you when they thought you weren't watching. It felt like connection. It felt like love. But then something shifted. And now, instead of feeling closer, you feel more alone than you did before they ever touched you. This isn't just about heartbreak. This is about the cruel irony of giving more and ending up with less. It's about the confusion that keeps you awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how something that felt so safe, so beautiful, could leave you feeling so broken. Because intimacy isn't supposed to do this to you, right? It's not supposed to strip you down just to abandon you in the cold. It's supposed to be the thing that brings people together. It's supposed to make love stronger. And yet, here you are, more raw, more exposed, more unsure of yourself than ever. If you're hurting right now, I want you to know something. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you're too much, or because you expected too much. It's because the way intimacy played out for you wasn't intimacy in its truest form. And that's not your fault. Here's the hard truth no one really prepares you for. Physical closeness and emotional closeness are not the same thing. You can share a bed with someone who will never hold your heart. You can let someone kiss your skin while they keep their soul locked away. And if you don't know how to tell the difference, if you were never taught what real intimacy is supposed to look like, it's easy to believe that the act itself will create the bond. But here's the problem. When you confuse physical intimacy with emotional intimacy, you can end up giving pieces of yourself to someone who hasn't earned the right to hold them. And when they leave, it doesn't just feel like a breakup. It feels like a betrayal of trust on the deepest level. Because they didn't just walk away with memories, they walked away with parts of you. You see, real intimacy is not just about shared moments, it's about shared truths. It's not about how quickly you can take off your clothes. It's about how safely you can take off your mask. It's not about the rush of passion, it's about the safety of presence. And that kind of intimacy can't be forced. It's built, layer by layer, slowly, intentionally, with care. If you've been hurt this way, I want you to stop blaming yourself for thinking intimacy would save the relationship. You were wired to believe that vulnerability builds connection, because in healthy love, it does. But healthy love doesn't just take your vulnerability, it protects it. Right now, the pain you feel is trying to tell you something. It's asking you to slow down, to learn the difference between giving yourself to someone and sharing yourself with someone. One is an offering, the other is an exchange. And until you experience the second one, the safe, mutual kind, every act of closeness will feel like a gamble you can't afford to lose again. The good news? This pain can teach you what real intimacy looks like and how to find it. But before we go there, we have to unpack the truth about why you thought giving more would make them stay, and why deep down, it broke you instead. You thought giving more of yourself would make them stay. You thought letting them in fully, completely, without barriers, would show them your love was real. But instead of holding it, they dropped it. And that's why it hurts so deeply. Because when you give your body, you give trust. And when you give trust, you're hoping for safety. So when that trust is broken, it doesn't just feel like rejection, it feels like betrayal. It shakes you. It makes you question if your love is even worth giving at all. Here's the truth most people never say out loud. Intimacy has a different meaning depending on who's holding it. For you, intimacy might have been an expression of love, a bridge to something deeper. A way of saying, here I am, the real me. Please, see me, and choose me. But for them, it might have been nothing more than comfort, or validation, or escape. Something that filled a temporary void, but never something they intended to carry forward with responsibility. That mismatch is where the pain begins. Because you weren't just giving your body, you were offering your heart. And they weren't ready, or willing, or able to offer theirs back. So now you're left wondering, was I foolish? Did I move too fast? Should I have waited? And the answer is not simple, because love asks for vulnerability. Real love requires risk. You weren't wrong for trusting. You weren't wrong for wanting closeness. You weren't wrong for believing intimacy should deepen the bond. What went wrong was not your desire, but their ability to hold it. They weren't ready for the kind of connection you thought intimacy would create. And that isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their readiness. Let's go deeper. Why does intimacy sometimes break us instead of bonding us? It comes down to how our brains and hearts are wired. When you share physical closeness, your body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. For you, that hormone doesn't just connect you physically, it creates an emotional attachment. It's nature's way of gluing two people together. But here's the painful part. Oxytocin doesn't guarantee mutual bonding. You might feel deeply attached, while the other person only feels temporary satisfaction, and that imbalance creates heartbreak. Think of it like this. You built a bridge with your whole heart, but they only walked halfway across before turning back. Now you're stranded, standing in the middle, holding all the weight of connection by yourself. This is why reframing intimacy is so important. Because if you keep believing that physical closeness automatically equals love, you'll keep finding yourself in the same cycle, giving too much too soon, and breaking when it doesn't lead to commitment. So what does real intimacy actually look like? It looks like safety first. It looks like someone proving, not just saying, that they can hold your trust, not just your body. It looks like presence, consistency, small acts of care that build into something unshakable. Because love is not proven in a single night of passion. It's proven in how someone shows up the next morning, and the morning after that, and the one after that. I know it's hard to admit this to yourself, but the truth is, sometimes we rush into intimacy because we want to believe it will make the connection. We want to shortcut our way into closeness. We think, if I give them everything, they'll see I'm worth staying for. But intimacy doesn't build love on its own. It only reveals what's already there. If the emotional bond is weak, intimacy won't fix. If their intentions aren't genuine, intimacy won't change them. If the foundation isn't solid, intimacy won't hold it together. Instead, it will expose the cracks. It will highlight the imbalance. It will show you painfully and clearly who was truly ready to walk with you and who never was. So here's where we begin healing, by no longer making intimacy a test of love, by no longer giving your heart to people who haven't shown you through their actions that they can protect it, by no longer believing that closeness alone equals commitment. Instead, start looking for a different kind of intimacy, one that begins not in the body, but in the heart, one that feels safe even in silence, one that doesn't rush, doesn't demand, doesn't pressure, one where your vulnerability is not just received but honored. Because the truth is, real love won't require you to gamble with your soul just to prove you're worthy. It will protect your soul as if it were its own. Let's be honest, when intimacy leaves you broken, it doesn't just damage how you see love, it damages how you see yourself. You start to wonder, was it me? Did I move too fast? Did I expect too much? And slowly fear begins to creep in. Fear of opening up again. Fear of being vulnerable again. Fear that if you give your heart, your body, your trust, you'll only be left shattered once more. But here's something I need you to hear clearly. What happened to you is not proof that love is unsafe. It's proof that not everyone is ready to hold love the way it deserves to be held. See, intimacy is not the villain here. Intimacy is beautiful when it's honored, when it's mutual, when it's safe. The pain you feel right now doesn't come from intimacy itself. It comes from intimacy given to someone who wasn't prepared to value it. Think of intimacy like fire. In the right hands, fire brings warmth, light, comfort. In careless hands, it burns, it destroys, it scarred. The fire isn't the enemy, it's the person who didn't know how to handle it. And just like fire, intimacy deserves respect. Your body, your heart, your vulnerability, these are sacred. They are not something to be thrown casually into someone's hand. They are something to be shared with someone who has proven they know how to keep them safe. So how do you begin to rebuild your relationship with intimacy without letting fear hold you hostage? It starts with redefining what intimacy actually means to you. For too long, the world has told us that intimacy is only about physical closeness, the touch, the kiss, the bedroom, but that's only a fragment of what intimacy truly is. Real intimacy is in the conversations where you tell someone your fears, and they don't run. It's in the moments where you show them your flaws and they don't judge. It's in the silence where nothing needs to be said, because you already feel understood. Physical closeness should be an extension of that emotional bond, not a replacement for it, because without the emotional safety, physical intimacy will always feel fragile. But with emotional safety, physical intimacy becomes sacred. So how do you start creating this kind of intimacy? It begins with boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls. They're not about shutting people out. They're about creating a space where love can grow safely. A boundary is simply saying, this is how I need to be treated if you want access to me. That might sound scary at first, especially if you've been used to proving your worth by giving more of yourself. But boundaries don't push the right people away. They filter them. They reveal who is willing to honor you and who was only here for what they could take. Here are some examples of boundaries around intimacy. Emotional pacing. I don't rush into intimacy until I feel emotionally safe with someone. Consistency check. If someone can't show up for me outside of physical closeness, I don't give them physical access to me. Respect standard. If I express my needs and they dismiss them, that's my sign to step back, not push harder. These boundaries aren't about punishment. They're about protection. And the more you honor them, the more you'll attract people who are capable of real connection. Here's the truth about why boundaries matter. Your nervous system remembers pain. When intimacy has broken you, your body associates closeness with fear. That's why, even with someone new, you might feel a sense of panic, a voice inside whispering, what if it happens again? Boundaries are not just emotional tools, they're nervous system protection. They give your body and your heart the chance to feel safe again. And safety is the foundation of intimacy. Think of it this way, intimacy is not built in the rush. It's built in the steady rhythm of safety repeated over time. Safety creates trust. Trust creates openness. Openness creates love. And love, when it's real, doesn't break you. It builds you. So what does healthy intimacy actually look like? Let me paint the picture for you. It looks like someone asking how your heart is, not just your body. It looks like patience. Someone who doesn't rush you, but matches your pace. It looks like care. Small gestures that show consistency, not just desire. It looks like honesty. Someone who tells you the truth, even when it's hard. It looks like presence. Someone who shows up, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. When intimacy grows from that place, it doesn't break you. It strengthens you. It doesn't leave you empty. It fills you. Here's what I need you to remember. You are not broken for wanting intimacy. You are not foolish for giving your heart. And you are not unworthy because someone mishandled what you gave. What happened to you is not a sign that you're too much. It's a sign that they weren't enough. Not enough in courage. Not enough in care. Not enough in love. But you are enough. And when the right person comes along, you will see just how worthy your intimacy is, because they won't run from it. They won't misuse it. They won't take it lightly. They will hold it, protect it, honor it, and give it back to you multiplied. Because somewhere along the way, you stopped trusting yourself. You started questioning your own judgment. You replayed every moment, every decision, asking, why didn't I see it sooner? Why did I give so much? Why didn't I protect myself? And that self-blame is heavier than heartbreak itself. But let me tell you something, you did not fail. You trusted, you loved, you gave. And those are not weaknesses, they are strengths. The mistake wasn't your love. The mistake was believing that someone else's inability to hold it meant you shouldn't have offered it. When we're hurt by intimacy, our brain creates two dangerous reflexes. First, it teaches us fear. It whispers, don't open up again, don't trust again, don't love again. It's not Second, it breeds shame. It tells us, you were naive, you were foolish, you should have known better. Fear shuts us down. Shame locks us inside ourselves. And together they create a cage. But here's the truth. Cages are not protection. They are prison. And the only way out is learning to trust yourself again. So how do you begin to trust yourself again after being broken? It starts with listening to the quiet signals you ignored the first time. Think back. Were there red flags you brushed aside? Moments when your gut whispered something wasn't right, but your heart overruled it. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. But now, it makes you wiser. Rebuilding self-trust doesn't mean never making mistakes. It means honoring your own voice, even when you're scared of what it might say. Here are 3 powerful steps. Reclaim your intuition. Start small. Notice how you feel around people. Do you feel calm, or do you feel like you're walking on eggshells? Your body often knows the truth before your mind does. Redefine worthiness. Stop measuring your value by how much you can give. Love isn't proven by sacrifice. It's proven by balance, by 2 people giving to each other, not 1 person carrying it all. Create pause before giving. Before you hand over your heart, your body, your vulnerability, pause. Ask yourself, have they shown me consistency? Have they shown me safety? Have they earned this part of me yet? These pauses don't kill love, they protect it. Your nervous system craves safety. Every time you honor your own boundaries, your brain learns, I can trust myself again. I can protect myself again. Think of it like rebuilding a muscle. At first it feels shaky, but the more you practice self-honor, the stronger it gets. And eventually, you stop living in fear of intimacy. Instead, you start seeing intimacy as it was always meant to be, not something that breaks you, but something that reflects the love you've already built within yourself. But to truly heal, you must release the guilt, because guilt will whisper, if I had done this differently, they wouldn't have left. No, their leaving is not your failure. Their inability to stay is not your fault. Their choice to mishandle your love does not mean your love was wrong. You cannot control how someone receives your intimacy. You can only control how you honor it moving forward. So forgive yourself. Forgive the version of you who loved recklessly. Forgive the version of you who trusted too quickly. Forgive the version of you who thought intimacy would save, because that version of you was only trying to find love the best way they knew how. And now, you're wiser. Now you know what real intimacy must look like. It must feel safe before it feels passionate. It must feel consistent before it feels intense. It must feel mutual before it feels vulnerable. That's not fear, that's wisdom. And wisdom is what will guide you into the love you truly deserve. So here's the shift I want you to carry with you. You are not afraid of intimacy. You are afraid of intimacy without safety. And that is a fear worth listening to. Because the right person won't just give you closeness. They'll give you safety inside that closeness. They won't just take your vulnerability. They'll protect it. They won't just share a moment. They'll share a future. And when that kind of intimacy finds you, it won't break you. It will heal you. So if this message spoke to you, if it made you feel seen in a way you didn't expect, then stay close. Subscribe to Heartwise, and let's keep walking through these truths together, so that you never feel alone in your healing, and never forget just how worthy your love truly is.